Hey, how's it going, guys? Lion Plays here, back again with another video talking about The Last of Us 1, though, right? It's gonna be a fun video. I kind of want to have like a theory video. I've been trying to get this video out for so long, probably over, I don't even know, I think since last year I really wanted to make it, and I forgot about this video, and I had it in my notes still, but I'm sorry for taking up so much of your time there, but here we go. So I wanted to have this theory, and I thought, what would have happened if the Fireflies made the cure, right? And there's a bunch of things that could have went on with the story here, and how much it could have progressed, right? So the one thing I do want to take away from this is what would have happened if they made the cure, right? If Joel just walked away and let him have that, right? Now, the reason why I wanted to discuss this is because I don't think it would have been, I guess you could say, realistic if the Fireflies made it right after Ellie did die and they made the cure and everything like that, a vaccine. I don't think it would have really worked, and even if it was mass distributed. I think that's the word, mass distributed. Yeah, I don't think it would have went out everywhere, and it's been too far along in this apocalypse. Right, it's been over 20. It's been 20 years, about 21 years since basically since when Joel and Ellie were there, and it's just I don't know. I don't know how that would have really worked out. I don't think it would have actually happened. It doesn't really make sense, right? It's 20 years in apocalypse. There's too many people too far gone. For example, the hunters and the cannibals, for example, those two groups. There's no way in hell that they would have went back to normal. Basically, there's no way society could ever come back together after this, especially in this world. I could never see that really happening. And let me know your thoughts and opinions on that down below. I want to know, but I just don't know. I could never see that really happening with Joel just being like, you know what, whatever. Even though I just spent a year with Ellie, I want to see what happens with the cure, right? And I think that's why a lot of people always say is Joel the hero or villain. I always want to make that video, but I'll actually give my opinion on that here. I think Joel is still the hero no matter what. I think he kind of sold in a realistic type way as well, I guess you could say, because there's no way in hell, even if they made the cure, like I said, they're going to get it all over the country, right? I mean, mostly up north, the military's still there in certain checkpoints, but they're not everywhere anymore, right? For example, out west, there's barely anybody there. It's basically just infected everywhere, and the military is really diminished at this point. And we don't know what happened to the rest of the world. They never really said anything, I'm pretty sure, about, like, for example, Russia, China, one of those big ones, or even Europe or England, anything like that, right? All over the European countries. So it kind of makes sense, right? Like, the military here is just awful at this point. There's, like, barely any groups left in The Last of Us. And I think that's another thing with Joel. And he kind of noticed that. And also, when we meet Sam and Henry, right? If you think about this really quickly, right? They were from Hartford, Connecticut, and obviously they said a lot of stuff. Like Ellie actually said, there's a lot of bad things are going on there because the military just left that checkpoint, and it does show a lot, right? That there's barely any groups left in this world, and the only way you could really go is by having your own community, probably at this point in time. As we saw in Tommy's group, they didn't rely on the military or anything like that, but I guess up north in the northeastern states that they still had military, except in Pennsylvania, as we saw Pittsburgh when we were going through there, and we didn't see anything there, so that was also another thing. Or even through Billstown, that was another area in Massachusetts. We didn't see anything happen there as well. So it's kind of interesting to think what would have really happened if the cure was really made, right? Because I could never really see that happening. I don't know. It seems too far out there, I guess you could say, especially in this world. Like, there's no way society would ever come back at this point. There's no president in this game. We never seen any vice president or anybody of Congress in these games. I just noticed that. That's pretty cool if we actually got something like that in the part 2. I doubt we would, but I don't know. I think Joel did make the right decision at the end. I mean, he picked Ellie over the cure, really. And the cure would have never been mass distributed, like I said before. It would have been impossible. There was no way they could distribute all that. They're a group that there's barely any Fireflies left. And it's just like, what the hell are the Fireflies going to do? There's like, what, I think a few hundred people left, if that. If not, maybe a few 80 or 90 of them. And obviously, there's something that would have happened there. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts and opinion on this. I think Joel is actually the hero in this game. A lot of people are saying that Joel's wrong for what decisions he made. A lot of people are saying that he took humanity away, which he really didn't, honestly. I can't really see Joel being the villain of this game. Obviously, he's made a lot of bad decisions. And honestly, there's a lot of things we don't know about Joel that a lot of things could have happened over the 20 years, like I said before. That would have been pretty cool. Like, there's a lot of potential for, if they really wanted to, do a prequel. I don't want to milk the Last of Us universe, obviously, because it's such a great game. And I just wanted to bring that up anyway. There's a lot of things they could cover over 20 years, why him and Tommy went estranged, or even why they never went back to their home in Texas, maybe to grab extra things. But I think there's a lot of things there, or like how Joel got the boss and how he met Tess and the Fireflies. There's a lot of potential there to be a prequel. Sorry for getting away from the main thing, but yeah, like I wanted to say before, Joel is basically the hero of the game in my personal opinion, just because obviously he saved Ellie, and that was like another daughter to him that he never really had after he lost Sarah, because the world basically took his only thing he really cared about away from him. And honestly, by the end of the day, Joel is probably the hero, like I said before. But man, there's so many things I could, like, if Sarah was still alive, I don't know what really would have happened with Joel. I don't know how long they would have lasted. Would they have stayed in Texas or anything like that? I definitely can't see that happening. but who knows by the end of the day. It's a game that we all love and cherish, right? There's a lot of great things that came from this game, a lot of fans, and honestly, I love this game. It's probably my favorite game of all time, like I said before, and man, it's crazy to think about what would have really happened if the Fireflies really did have a cure, or if Joel just walked away, basically, or like did he make the right decision? Because I think by the end of the day, I think a lot are going to say Joel made the right decision, obviously, just because he's our favorite character in most video games and everything like that. But and another point I wanted to bring up as well, that the Fireflies were being hunted down. There's like barely any left, like I said before, at the beginning of the game. The military people were saying that, and even Tess and Joel were saying that too. There's like barely any of you left, right? And that was when they were with Robert, and Robert said, yeah, F those Fireflies, we can just go down there and finish up all the mess and grab your guns back, right? And yeah, so like the Fireflies, I don't know. There's like, honestly, there's barely any left, and I want to talk about the final thing in this video, and that's going to be Ellie's sacrifice if she did that. If she was okay with it. Like, let's say she woke up and they asked her, like, Ellie, are you okay with sacrificing herself? Now, that's a big decision for a 14-year-old girl during that time. Basically 15. Joel and Ellie were with each other for a year. And I couldn't even imagine having that decision at the age of, like, 15 if somebody asked me to do that if I was a cure or something like that. Could you imagine that? Like, that's a huge decision. Like, just give up your life to save the whole world. Like, that's a huge decision, man. And I think that's why Joel really just, like, saved Ellie anyway. Like, that's too big of a choice, and maybe she'll understand later. Maybe we'll hear something like that in part 2. Maybe the Joel will confess or something like that, but I don't know. I think that's a huge decision for a 14-year-old girl. Could you imagine you doing that? Like, would you really want to give up your life for that, even though you live in this type of world that would probably never go back to the way it used to be? Like, there's too many decisions that everybody made, poor decisions, really, and there's no way to get away from that. Even if you try to restart humanity at this point, I don't think there's a way. But yeah, it's such a hard choice to be like, yeah, just I'll sacrifice myself to save the rest of the world. Maybe like Ellie was selfish. I don't think she would. I think she would do that, but I don't think it's her obligation to do that. But who knows? But by the end of the day, I think it's a hard choice to make. Like, I don't think like she would want. I think she would be able to do it. Like, Joel, I think, would notice that she would do it just to save everybody. But other than that, let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. I know it's kind of like a short video. I just want to thank you for stopping by. Hit that sub button, helps the channel grow. And I'm sorry for obviously bouncing all over the place with different ideas. But other than that, thank you for watching. Hit the sub button, helps the channel grow. Hope to see you in the next video, and peace.